Jonathan Marchessault called today's game against the Dallas Stars the first really good test. And we will preview that game coming up ahead right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We appreciate you tuning in wherever you are. And also make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel that is Locked On Golden Knights. We are brought to you today by the Gametime app. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. So, Chris, Dallas Stars made some good improvements, I think. They have some key additions since losing to the VGK in 6 games in the Western Conference Finals last season. The Stars really have really put together a pretty solid roster, filled in some gaps, and this is a team that has played just one game to VGK's 3 so far this season. That was a shootout win over the Blues last Thursday. 2-1 was the final. And this should be a Stars team that is well rested. Mr. Team Bonding himself, Pete DeBoer, actually took this team on a bonding trip down to Palm Springs after the game on Thursday night. So they had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday we saw them arrive here in Las Vegas. Reason being is because they were supposed to play, I think, another game or possibly 2 at home at American Airlines Arena, but they had some conflicting concerts scheduled there. They added some free agents. We know Matt Duchene, I think, was perhaps the biggest name from Nashville, and he had 56 points, 22 goals. That guy, they called him a cancer, I think. 22 goals a season ago. Yes. Center Craig Smith from the Capitals. And they also got Sam Steele, that fabled player from the Anaheim Ducks. Stars have added more depth, and they should even move up perhaps a notch, I believe, this season in the chase for the Cup. What are your thoughts?
I mean, you chase for the Cup. So I've told you guys this a million times. My business is basically opening packs of hockey cards on a live platform, selling, boxes and team breaks and stuff like that. And it's a bunch of people, shooting the breeze and, just kind of talking about hockey. And we talked a lot about the Dallas Stars. Obviously, all the people that I do my business for, they know what I do with media stuff and covering the team. So talking to a lot of Stars fans last night, and the conversation with them was, is Pete DeBoer the coach to get you to a Stanley Cup? And
great question.
It's a good question. And, you talk about it and you look at Pete DeBoer's history and stuff like that and what he has done. And he is a great regular season coach. He is a great coach that's going to get your team into the playoffs and even win a round or 2 and maybe even get to the Stanley Cup final. He's done that twice, I believe, in his career. First seasons with New Jersey and San Jose. Had the Golden Knights knocking on the door 2 separate occasions, conference final, then all the injuries, and he gets fired. And, they won a Stanley Cup after that with the new coach. Go figure. But so that's my first concern right there when you say taking a step forward. The team got to the conference final with DeBoer and obviously ran into the Golden Knights. Oddly enough, Jamie Benn misses 2 games that series because he's an idiot and gets suspended for doing stupid things. And the team wins 2 games. So leadership and all that, just so many weird things happening there. So when you say step forward with Pete DeBoer as the coach, I don't see a step forward. I will never see a step forward. Pete DeBoer, Paul Maurice, Jay Woodcroft, they are all in this blender of, hey, we do well in the regular season, but when it comes time to actually coaching a team, it's going to be tough to see them move on. So not to go on a little soapbox early here, giving the Stars a a fair shake looking at the roster. Yes, it's a great team. Starts obviously with Ottinger. He is just a phenomenal goaltender. When his career ends, it'll be interesting to see where he ranks as far as potential all-time greats go. It's early in his career. A lot can change, but he's on the right path. You mentioned Matt Duchene. So the one thing that's always going to stand out for me in Matt Duchene, folks, go on YouTube, type in Matt Duchene YouTube or the Matt Duchene taxi cab. When he was a member of the Ottawa Senators, sorry guys, when he was a member of the Ottawa Senators, him and a couple of players are in the back of a taxi. Ottawa's not having a good year, and all three of these guys are just ripping the system. Oh, we can't do a breakout. These practices suck. Whatever that they said, just I get these are kids. They're in weird situations. They get caught in a hot mic, and this Uber driver takes a shot to get fame and glory by having a nice YouTube video, and obviously he put it out there, and the rest is history. So, but it just makes him look so bad. And looking at Duchene's points, like he's had some good seasons, but he had a big fall off in Nashville, goes down 30 points year over year from 21-22 to 22-23, gets bought out. So, can Pete DeBoer manage someone like this? He hasn't proven it yet.
It will be a VGK alumni night, right? Didn't Misha Donskov go to Dallas? They should have a tribute video. 7 years, right?
They should.
Yeah.
If Jonathan Quick gets a tribute video in Columbus, Donskov gets one in Vegas.
No, that was terrific, right? And then, of course, another tribute video for Evgeny Dodonov. Maybe Steve Spott gets
already.
One. And
they already
DeBoer,
had theirs.
They had theirs.
Jamie Benn gets his ring tonight, by the way.
I like that one. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, suspended a couple of games, of course, for that bonehead play. The captain that's your captain right there, trying to take out VGK's captain with a cross-check to his head. And he had gained that 2-game suspension there for doing so.
Thank you.
Yeah, Rupe Hintz, day-to-day. He's day-to-day. He's got a lower body injury. He's yet to play this season. They only played 1 game, folks. And then Wyatt Johnson.
Schedule's so rigged.
Radek Faksa. Those are the 2 players as well that were injured in the preseason, but they have been back now. They returned. I'm wondering a team bonding trip, right? So Palm Springs, a lot of golf, nothing going on. I don't think they had that rock concert there at Coachella. So just a kind of a chill trip, I think, and we'll see what kind of relaxation or what it did. Can it pay off?
The Coachella flu. They're going to have the Coachella flu coming in. I don't know if I understand why you're doing this early in the season. Like the Golden Knights do this a couple of times, right? They do it in preseason.
But DeBoer did have a good point. They didn't have a break there right before the start of the season. They played their 7 preseason games, and then they went right into the season. And it just is the first time that they had some sort of a break. So he likes a team bonding thing, but I don't know if Foley ever invited him to the ranch.
I'll bet only if he wore the cowboy hat. That's a prerequisite. You gotta wear the cowboy hat.
No, but I think it's a good thing for sure.
Oh no, it's a good thing. I mean, listen, anything that again, I say this at least once every other week. A lot of times as media, as fans, and whoever we are that watches all these athletes doing what they do and rooting and watching our fantasy football scores and fantasy hockey scores and our bets and everything, or writing our stories and looking for content on a podcast, we do forget that these are human beings. Yes, they do make a lot of money, but that does not dehumanize them. It maybe dehumanizes people to a degree, but at the end of the day, they're still human beings, and it is good to see teams treating players the right way, because all the NHL teams, haven't done that. You can just look up recent stories and things that have happened, not just inside the NHL, but Team Canada. And, it's not the stories that we hear about, but it's maybe the stuff we don't hear about or stuff that happens behind closed doors that concern me. So, VGK does treat the players right once they're inside the friendly confines. The Golden Knights, general manager, Kelly McCrimmon, might ship you out, at any moment, but that's how the team is ran. Once you are a member of the team, you're treated the right way. You see the culture of the Golden Knights, and DeBoer, you're not going to have an issue with the culture as far as being mistreated or anything like that. If anything, it's too laid back. Just ask Max Pacioretty about that when he talked about the country club atmosphere. So it seems like the Stars and Pete DeBoer have not lost their country club ways because they just came from a country club.
That's it. That's you. You ended abruptly there. That's kind of funny, though. But Jake Ottinger didn't have the greatest playoffs last year. Can he
No, he didn't.
rebound for Dallas for the Stars?
I mean, listen, Ottinger is a young goaltender
We'll
that
see if he takes the next step.
is 25 years old. I was looking up and down the roster trying to get the number. That's why I was, the Golden Knights, did he not have that great of a playoff, or did he just run to a buzzsaw? And I think the latter is the answer. The Golden Knights just were not going to be denied by a brick wall in net. They weren't going to be denied by Patrick Waugh at his best or Dominik Hasek. The Golden Knights scoring and luck. You have to have luck to win a Stanley Cup, Golden Knights fans. If you can't acknowledge that, good things have to happen. And it wasn't just good things happening. It was great things happening. It was kind of like season 1 revisited in the playoffs, where all the players in the playoffs were having career type of pacing when it came to scoring and defense and goaltending. So are we going to knock Jake Ottinger for running into that type of a buzzsaw? I don't know. I mean, there's a few goals he gave up that definitely were a little bit soft, but honestly, I don't think it would have mattered a ton with the way things went for the Golden Knights. And I don't have his exact career numbers in front of me at the moment, but Ottinger, he's going to be a fantastic goalie that's going to have his team. He's going to give his team a chance to win every single game. And he's that goalie that steals games. He's that goalie. You're not going to hear Pete DeBoer make comments like you do hear Cassidy make about Thompson and Hill sometimes. Ottinger always makes that one more save. Whereas at times you will hear Cassidy, maybe as early as tonight, who knows, but you will hear Cassidy make the comments, we just needed that one more save tonight. Well, Ottinger is that goalie. That is a larger strength of the Dallas Stars when comparing to the Vegas Golden Knights.
Coming up next, at what point can we make a clear assessment of VGK? When can we tell if this team is a team that will be a cup repeater? That comes your way next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Gametime is the only ticketing app that gives you really complete peace of mind with your purchase. Gametime has deals on tickets right up until the start of the game or the event, and we check it out each and every day to find out how much tickets will be for VGK. I did not check it this morning, but last I saw $61 for the game a couple of days ago against Anaheim.
That's about where they are right now.
Yeah. Okay. So that's great. And I like checking it out every day. I send a lot of my friends there, as do you. It's the place for last minute seats as well. You could find very much exclusive flash deals and sponsor deals on tickets for football, basketball, NHL, baseball, concerts, comedy, and much, much more. You don't really need to spend much you have to spend nothing to get the comedy right here on our Lockdown show. With zone deals, you pick the section and Gametime will pick you the seats. And that's for an average of 18% savings. And the Gametime guarantee means that you will always get the best price. If you can find tickets in the same section and row for less, Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app today. Create an account. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We are also brought to you today by AG1. And our next partner, AG1, the daily foundational nutritional supplement that supports your entire body health. I drink it each and every day. I gave AG1 a try because it definitely boosts my energy. I've told you before, it allows me to sleep a lot better as well. And since I've been drinking AG1, I have noticed an overall healthy feeling, and it really helps me to sleep better, as I said, and just feel more comfortable. And it helps out my immune system. No doubt about it. It is a science-driven formula of vitamins, probiotics, and whole food sourced nutrients and superfoods. It's a micro habit that delivers macro benefits, and it helps just about everybody take care of their health each and every day. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1. Get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your very first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/NHL network. That's drinkag1.com/NHL network. Check it out. We are back on Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick. We come to you from Las Vegas each and every day. Thanks for making us your first listen. You could find us on the X. You could find your X's on the X. But you could find at TD Chris G, at Tony Dasco, at Locked On VGK. That's where you need to be. There's some really funny posts there about us primarily. Okay, with a very soft schedule for VGK,
I actually agree with Tony on that, by the way, folks. So you can yell at me too when he says that.
Okay, at least 2 of the 3 teams from the Pacific Division they faced already. Good team, one good, decent team we know, perhaps in Seattle. Who knows? But when is the point that we can fairly evaluate this team when it pertains to the schedule? I'm not going to lie. I had to go really deep, to see when we can evaluate, this team this season. And by playing these softies early, one of my friends had heard, what I said on the show, and he came back at me and said, well, everyone has to play like the same type of schedule eventually. But to me, your success is based on how the schedule falls. And by Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, if you will, which is the barometer, VGK should be sailing. They will be in no less than first place. They'll be in first place at that point. And that's, I think, the point that you definitely evaluate a team in the NHL.
So for me, I wanted to get away because Thanksgiving is the cliche answer. We talked about this. We probably talked about the same topic sometime around the same week last year, just trying to see, okay, let the dust settle of the opening week hoopla and, the adrenaline of still being the Stanley Cup champion when the season starts. At what point can we really settle down and say, okay, this is what we have in Vegas right now? So my measuring stick was once the Golden Knights played one game against every team in the Pacific Division, because then you can see, okay, Seattle's been pretty good. The Golden Knights have only played them once, but Seattle has done pretty well. Or the Calgary Flames by that point, they're really struggling. The Golden Knights beat the pants off them a couple of times. So now we know what's going on. So I looked at the schedule, and I really didn't not want to say around American Thanksgiving. Well, as of November the 30th, that Thursday, I think that's the week after Thanksgiving, is when the Golden Knights will have played every team in the Pacific Division. So the answer is right around the American Thanksgiving. But for me personally, it's a different reason. I just wanted to see the team against everyone in the Pacific at least once. And then by that time, I mean, you're probably 20, 22, 23 games into the season by that point. So you'll have played a good chunk of the Eastern Conference teams to see what things look like. They'll have games against Pittsburgh. They'll have their second game against the Stars by then. Looks like they got one against the Caps. Looking back on the Western Conference side, they'll have a game against the Avalanche in early November. That's obviously a potential conference final matchup, depending on who you're talking to. So for me, yeah, it's basically the week after American Thanksgiving. That's when we will be able to make a projection. Division contender, wild card contender, maybe win 1 or 2 rounds of the playoffs, but not good enough to get over the hump. Or by that time, especially if Hill and Thompson have had a good start without any issues as far as health goes, then we can say Stanley Cup contender, book it. It's going to be a long playoff.
We said at the start of the season, we felt that there might be some slippage, and maybe this is a second or a third place team in the Pacific Division, right?
I agree. I agreed 100%. I don't know if I agree now, but that was my opening assessment.
I mean, after the Stars, you got the Blackhawks 2 of 3 games and the Flyers somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah.
Again, VGK should get out to a terrific start. Jonathan Marchessault, our barometer's been Thanksgiving, but he keeps speaking about after Christmas. He says this is a really good start for our team, but it'll help us because it's really more difficult after Christmas, which I thought was pretty interesting that he said that. And I say, again, first place by U.S. Thanksgiving. It does get difficult around, and you mentioned this too, but I had in my notes around November 19th when they go to the Pens. They play out the Stars, at the Flames, at the Oilers. I think that's coming up. And that should be, a pretty tough.
But the
and
first
difficult
games that
spot.
trip are Montreal, who just lost Kirby Dach.
Yeah.
Philly, who knows what's going on. And the Caps are, at least as right now is discussing, are a fringe playoff team at best. Like, that's the thing. Looking at the schedule, the one really tough road trip that I see, at least in the first in this calendar year, is Calgary, Edmonton. That's a back-to-back on the road. And then one day off in Vancouver. Vancouver's been off to a good start. So that's literally the one murderer's row type of road trip on the schedule. And that could maybe change later on. You got the Devils and the Isles back-to-back, and then 2 days off, and then another back-to-back, oddly enough, Rangers and Red Wings. So that might be a tough pocket right there with 4 back-to-back game scenarios in 6 days. That's in January.
The big news of yesterday, okay, we're done with scheduling. I think, wow, you have the entire schedule there in front of you. I like that. That's pretty good.
Schedule.
Cool. Says
and even
schedule.
over this shoulder, you can kind of see, because I'm so dang busy these days, I got a calendar of the VGK schedule, my personal break schedule, when products get released. And
your breakdancing schedule?
So breaking is a term for what I do for my
I know.
My business, but yes, my break.
Okay, the big news.
If I broke dance, I would break.
We got this deep into the show without mentioning the big news and the big, huge signing yesterday by the Chicago Wolves of one Maxime Comtois. He's in Chicago with the Wolves. So why? My biggest question here is why didn't VGK sign him to an AHL contract? I mean, the Chicago Wolves, for crying out loud, they don't even have an AHL affiliate.
So that's what happened, Tony. If he signed an AHL contract with the Wolves, he is property of the Chicago Wolves. Now, he can still get signed, but it's not even, yes, it's an AHL contract. And if he signed exactly with the Wolves and not with they're independent now. They dumped the Hurricanes because they got mad. Yeah, so now basically he's free to sign wherever he wants as far as an NHL deal goes. Now, the question I have, and I saw some people mentioning this on various social platforms, and I don't know the answer to this, but since he is a vet, since he's a certain age, if the Golden Knights would have signed him, would they have had to waive him first? And then that obviously ties up the roster spot and all these things.
But no one was going to pick him up.
And that's all. Well, but if you pick them up, and then it might be an easier path to get them to the AHL team. But that's the other side. So when the Golden Knights signed Denisenko, they signed him. They were the last waiver priority. Then they waived him again, where the Florida Panthers then could have brought him back on the waivers, and then he could have reported directly to the AHL team without having to go through the waivers again. So what is up with Max Comtois? That's what you're trying to say, Tony. What is up? Why couldn't he get an AHL deal? Why couldn't Arizona say, "Hey, dude, you've been pretty good. Let's come on in. Let's go. We can use you. Here's $850K. Here's a bridge deal." So basically, he's taking the deal that is just a tad bit better than going to Switzerland or Russia or anywhere else to go play hockey. So at least this is at least gonna keep him in the eyes of the scouts and stuff like that. And honestly, he should, let's just assume for a second he plays the next 50 games for the Chicago Wolves. He should have 65 points. Like, he should be better than a point per game player based on his NHL output. But how the mighty have fallen. And I don't mean that as a dig on him, because as far as his interactions at camp, he was great. No problems, nothing to, be concerned about or anything. But there's a book on him out there somewhere, and maybe it's a black book, maybe it's a blacklist. Maybe he's blacklisted.
No, it's a Cassidy book. I just don't like the guy. He's not signed. He's not under contract. I just don't like him. It was kind of.
But there's 31 other teams that might have liked him.
I thought so too. I thought he had some value, but who knows? Something's up there. And the funny thing too about Comtois was that the Chicago Wolves had him record a promo. This is Max Comtois. I'm so happy to be here, and he's not happy in Chicago and to play for your
Listen,
Chicago
it's
Wolves.
got. I will say, if you're going to go to an AHL team, the Wolves are fun. I've said this probably a couple times in the past, but guys, take a second after you're done watching, liking, and subscribing to this video. Ding, ding, ding. Go YouTube a Chicago Wolves pregame intro video. Or if you happen to be in the Chicagoland area or are going there, go to a Chicago Wolves game. Bring sunscreen because it's going to get hot in there. They blow the roof off that place. They've been doing it since 1995 with an absolute epic pregame show that has been ahead of its time, going on almost 30 years, and it just gets better. So go to a Chicago Wolves game. If anything, Comtois went to the right place. He's going to dig it out there. That's for sure.
Coming up next, we've got our locks of the night and our predictions for tonight's game. You don't want to miss that.
No.
Stay tuned. More on the way right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. And that's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. You got to love that proposition. And if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get into the action than now. The app is so easy to use. It's very friendly. There's a wide range of betting options, including point spreads. They've got player props. They've got totals or over-unders and much, much more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, the official betting partner and the official partner of the National Football League. We are back, Locked On Golden Knights, for this Tuesday edition, game day edition. The most difficult game of the season thus far coming up tonight. Will the Dallas Stars still be in golf mode? Don't forget, coming up each and every Friday, we've got What the Friday. That's our main feature of the week, in addition to all the other features we bring you. But make sure that you give us some good chirps. They've been terrific, and we appreciate that. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is that time. It is time for our
Right on the shoulders, guys. Right on the shoulders. Right on the shoulders.
Whoa, this is great.
There we go.
Have you been practicing the framing there for the video?
They actually listened.
Okay.
That's probably a better way to say it.
Okay, it's time for our locks of the night and our predictions. And this is an easy one. It's a layup for me because the first 3 games in my prediction on Saturday was 4-1. And I was correct because every game's been a 4-1 final. The final score tonight will be 4-1, but it will be the Dallas Stars on top.
Tony says 4-1 Stars.
I'm going to go with the player that is second in the league currently in shots on goal, and that is Jack Eichel. Has 17. Thank you, Jack, for listening to me. 17 shots on goal. Shoot the stinking puck. And the other player I will go with is Pavel Dorofeyev. 4-1 Stars.
Doro will be scratched if
I'll take him then.
Most likely.
I just need Jack. He
You're
makes up for all the shots.
So Doro is your secondary and is going to make up. They're only getting 1 goal, so you only need 1 goal anyway, right?
Exactly.
There you go.
He takes enough shots there, so he'll make up for Doro's absence. I'm good.
All right, so I'm going to take a low-scoring game tonight. I know it's been 4-1 every single game, and my kids are probably going to say that in a second, I think. But 2-1, going to overtime, going to a shootouts, and I think the Dallas Stars are going to win the shootouts. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I can't pick 4-1 every single game, but maybe we can. Third line magic, we're going to tilt Tony by going with William Karlsson and Mike Amadio to have some magic on the one lone Golden Knights goal tonight.
Wow. Big news, too, yesterday, in addition to the Comtois news. Hashtag Vegas Bjorn is going to let his hair grow out. That was just such big news yesterday around here.
Allie, you want to go?
Okay.
Okay, Allie, what do you got for a score, girl?
3-2 Knights.
3-2 Knights.
Tell her to move over. We got to get some Allie FaceTime.
Get closer to me.
She's got a 1-1 record. There you go.
Allie's perfect.
Oh,
Allie's
she's
the only
2
one
now.
perfect so far.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Allie's perfect. We're all 2-1 otherwise. All right, Allie, what 2 players?
Eichel and March. So
Eichel and March. So that's going to be a theme. Allie loves Marchie and Eichel. All right, Chris, what do you got, buddy?
Thanks,
Close to
Allie.
the shoulder.
Big Chris.
2
Little Chris.
2-1 Stars.
2-1 Dallas.
Overtime.
Over
Shootout.
OT. That's so
Shootout.
just like me when I said okay.
8 overtime rounds.
8 overtime.
8.
The 8 overtime rounds. This is good. This is actually a good prediction here. I like this one.
A lot of fun.
Okay.
Dallas.
Dallas is going to win. What 2 Golden Knights are going to be involved in scoring tonight?
Eichel and Stone and probably everyone.
Eichel and Stone. Okay, and he said everyone.
All
as
right,
well.
man.
Besides
He
Coleslaw.
knows.
Everyone besides. Wait. Say that again. Everyone besides who?
Coleslaw.
Everyone besides Kolasar is going to be involved in scoring. He just said. Wow. So
That was
that's
his
a good
team.
that was a good
He
one
knows
by
his
Chris.
team.
Chris
Yeah.
brought the heat on that. That wasn't coached at all. He brought the heat. So he gave us 8 shootout rounds and says everyone but Kolasar gets in on the scoring. That
I
was
love this. I love this.
he's got a future. He has I know
He's taking
he
my
has
place.
future co-host of Locked On Vegas Golden Knights written all over him.
Oh, yeah. He's the future consideration that actually is going to pay dividends.
Someone put a comment on YouTube. They said they can't stand Tony 75% of the time. I said they're more tolerant than I am.
Is that what they said? 75%.
Yeah, I said, hey, that's a patient person right there.
Yeah, but they tune in. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Keep clicking.
Will Carrier on the ice yesterday. We have to mention that. He should be in the lineup. He's a game time decision.
I don't know
And
if the game time decision has ever not played for Cassie.
right. And he
Or
was
in the
back
AHL
on the
period.
ice with his line. And even though he's in a red jersey, Alex Pietrangelo was not on the ice yesterday. So it might be, what you were guessing, perhaps a concussion of sorts.
This is total guess, guys. I don't know. You're not going to get a direct answer besides, day to day for now. We'll see how it goes. And, it's a head injury, whether it's simply from the cut, the laceration, or it's a concussion. You just wish the best. And obviously a speedy recovery when the time is right.
He got hit like a rocket, with that puck too, and went down like
he took it square. He took it square.
And then he got up and just skated off the ice himself.
The hockey. Listen, I don't know what the exact injury is, but if he could have finished, like if it wouldn't have been a 3-goal game and at the end of the game, and if he's not concussed, obviously, he would have finished that game. Like he would have maybe missed 2 shifts while he got worked on and stuff like that. And really quick, I saw a funny story. I don't remember what 2 old timers were kind of talking about this, but they always said when you were on the road, you never wanted to get yourself, and this is going back to like the 80s and late 70s and stuff like that, a little different world then, but you didn't want to get in this spot where you were cut open and needed stitches, because if it's a thing where you needed 12 stitches, they'd give you like 4, and it would not look good at all. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Obviously pertains to Pietrangelo's situation, getting cut on the road, but I don't think it's like that anymore.
We appreciate everyone tuning in. And don't forget, on Fridays, it's WTF, What the Friday. We appreciate our everydayers, the folks that like me 75% of the time. And Chris, the other 25%.
It was 25% for you, and they tolerated you 25% of the time.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's better. My approval rating's moving up.
No, they definitely are. Yeah, your stock's trending up.
For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. On tomorrow's show, we will give you a recap of tonight's VGK Dallas Stars game. Should be a real good one for once.
It's going to be a fun game.
And we'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Take care.